It was about 8 o'clock at night. And despite the cold, I really enjoyed my bike ride home. I was singing out loud like a real crazy person. But what seemed like a typical night soon turned into a nightmare. I placed my bike in the garage, opened the door, take off my shoes and my coat. I opened the door to the living room, and as soon as I take my headphones off, I can sense this intense atmosphere. My boyfriend at the time is sitting at the dinner table with his head held down. Then my father kindly asked me to come sit at the table. My mom is next to him, looking distressed. Soon as I'm seated, my boyfriend says, "I told them." I asked him, "You told them what?" And he answered, "But you were too afraid to tell them." My heartbeat began to rise rapidly, and I could just feel my whole world caving in. My name is Xiorese, and I'm a survivor of childhood sexual assault. Who in here has ever had the feeling that you were too afraid to speak up? Please raise your hand. And who in here has experienced someone forbidding you to speak up or tell the truth? I see that some of you were stripped from your right to speak or were afraid. And similarly, I was kept quiet and small because my abuser told me to never, ever tell anyone. However, I've now regained my right to speak, and I want to motivate you all to do the same. Because talking about your pain and facing your pain is exactly where your power lies. At the time, I felt like it was something I had to do alone and carry alone and keep a secret. I wouldn't even tell my friends, teachers, or even family. And I would stay up all night watching these YouTube videos and read all the self-help books and survivor stories that I could find. But it didn't solve the cause or end the pain. That moment at the table with my parents was a real turning point for me. It was hurtful, it was painful, but suddenly I was seen and I was heard, and it was understood why sometimes I could be so angry or sad. To gain a deeper understanding of my emotions and of what I was going through for all these years, I went to therapy. And in December 2020, I started working on an online platform and helping people with life problems and trauma. And I had over 2,500 conversations regarding this topic, regarding mental health. I then founded the Ma Heala Community to ensure that I could make a change, to ensure that I could create this safe space where people could feel heard, where people could express what they were going through. And I'm 100% sure that there is power in pain. Because just like it did for me, it can motivate you to start changing your life. Pain is such a powerful catalyst for personal development and growth. But we seem to avoid conversations about it. I've heard comments like, "It's been so long ago. Why are you bringing it up?" Or, "Aren't you afraid of what people will think of you? Now you will always be seen as the damaged girl." Or that I have no idea what this could mean for my career. And all well-intentioned and possibly true, but it's exactly what I found to be the problem in our society. I mean, everybody's entitled to have their own opinion, but we should open more space to talk about these things. We humans are pretty much indoctrinated to see pain as something that's linear, a kind of cause-effect concept. But pain isn't linear. It spins, it turns, it replaces, and it can disappear and come back. Experiencing emotional pain is an important feeling, and it's not something that should be pushed aside. Today, I'm here to tell you 3 major things about emotional pain that I've learned in my own journey. The first one being is that your body physically stores emotional pain. All unprocessed pain stores itself in your body, and the emotions that you deny, whether short-term or long-term, have physical effects on your body. I talked to this lady who for years had this terrible, terrible headache. The type of headache that makes you want to turn off all the lights, lie down somewhere, and disappear. She kept going to the doctor asking, "What is wrong with me? Why am I not being diagnosed?" Come to find out that her nervous system was still operating from a survival mode due to childhood trauma. She never realized that she was never truly at ease or relaxed. And in my case, my hands and feet and jaw were always tense. I was just waiting for the next attack. Not talking about your emotional pain has physical effects on your body. And think of your neck pain being linked to stress, your stomach ache to anxiety, and your back pain a cause or effect of a burnout. And just like the lady, I know that there are some of you who experience these chronic pains that you can not find the answer for. The second very important thing I've learned is that we desire to be seen and heard, and sometimes aren't even aware of it. It can help someone so much to just be listened to and not judged. We need people that make us feel recognized, loved, understood, and noticed. And circumstances of when that is not happening is something that actually starts in childhood. I want to show you two very important examples. A child expressing, "I feel stupid, I cannot do this assignment," and your teacher responding, "Don't be silly, of course you can." Or a child expressing, "I don't feel well, I'm sad," and the parent responding, "Well, don't be weird, you can't be sad on a birthday." And it seems very harmless, and even the most loving and involved teachers and parents say these things. But this is something that manifests itself beyond childhood in your adult, professional, and romantic relationships. Again, I'd love to show you two very important examples. Your partner expressing, "Sometimes it feels like you don't really love me." And as a partner, you're responding, "That's such nonsense, I do so much for you." Or you're an employee saying, "I feel like everything I'm doing is wrong." And your boss, your employer saying, "Well, that's not right, that's something you talk yourself into." Sounds recognizable? But before I tell you better options on what to say, I'd love to tell you this third and last important thing that I've learned about emotional pain. Is that we need a sense of purpose. We need a purpose. I need a purpose, and you all need a purpose. But what is my life, and what is my life's purpose? I found in my journey it's very important to me to talk about underexposed stories, to give people a voice by using my voice. But it all starts with one important question that I'll show you in a minute, because I understand me being a person to tell you to find your purpose is kind of cliche. I think you've all heard this before. But it's often thought as something that magically happens overnight, and that there's some 3-step tutorial to find your purpose today. But I have something different to tell you. The question I was talking about is, what makes you happy? It all starts with this simple question, and when you have time today, please ask yourself, what makes you happy? Funny thing is that as a child, you often know better how to give in to your personal needs than the adult version of you does. Here I am with my sister in our princess dresses, and we baked another cake. And I love to show my family new costumes I made or theatrics. And now I'm a proud mother, I'm an actress, writer, and I still love to bake pies. So please think about something that you already loved in your childhood. So now you might think, okay, I now know that 1, my body stores emotional pain. 2, I desire to be seen and heard. And 3, we need purpose. But what can I change today? What can I do when I wake up tomorrow morning? How can I change my life for the better? Well, tomorrow morning when you wake up, I'd love for you to pay attention to your body. what aches have you been feeling? Where do you feel tension? Because this small step in awareness will hugely improve your life already. And please find new ways to move your body. Walking with a loved one is one of the most therapeutic things you could do. And again, go back to your childhood. What sports did you love to play? I also talked about communication and the desire of people to be seen and heard. Try to just ask why. When we start to ask why, we gain a deeper understanding of the person that we're talking to and of ourselves. And remember the earlier examples I showed you? These are better options to say. When your child is expressing, I don't feel well, I'm sad, you can respond with, it's okay to feel sad. I feel sad too sometimes. In this way, you're not being dismissive of the feeling, and you show them that, hey, this is an experience that I've had too. Or when your partner expressing, sometimes it feels like you don't really love me. Just respond with, how come dear, I'm listening. And again, just ask why. And about the purpose, please, please hold on to that purpose, because it builds that motivation, that meaning and strength. When you have your purpose, you can handle anything that comes your way. And I know that all of you have that fire in you. The only thing you have to do is just rekindle it. What do you have to give to the world? What is something that you can do? And to all the people with trauma, pain, people who remain silent, and to all of you in here, I'm talking to you, all of you. Staying quiet is not an option. Your pain is your power. Thank you.